This is Skul the Hero Slayer. So it's got kind of the structure of Rogue Legacy, but it's doing that thing where you're playing as stereotypical bad guys against the stereotypical good guys. But it's got a fun sense of humor, and I like what I've seen of it so far. So I'm going to try to get it to respond to my controller. There we go. Sometimes when I click away from a game in order to manage stuff on the stream, I end up losing control of the game. So here we go. So this is me. I'm Skul. This is the witch. She's my boss. Add trade. What is this? Oh, that's right. Okay, so this is like my, my progression screen, like from Rogue Legacy, where I can buy upgrades to my character using currency that I earn on each run of the game. It's got a roguelike structure where I can, I go out here and jump off a balcony. I land in the world. And I only have one life out here. I'm just gonna go through and get as much done as I can. And the best thing is I can throw my head. It actually does a surprising amount of damage too. So the whole thing has got this kind of joyful art style. Ow. The combat is pretty accessible. You do a pretty good job of stunning enemies that you're hitting. Ranged attacks are really well telegraphed. So if you want to avoid taking damage, you've got a lot of options. And that's kind of what you want to do. There's not a lot of opportunities to heal, and there's a lot of opportunities to get hurt. You only have the one life. There's no checkpoints or anything like that. If I die, I go back to the beginning and I start over. So it's like Rogue Legacy in that way. That basically each session I go through, or each run I go through and fight a bunch of enemies in procedurally generated landscapes, and then I earn as much currency as I can, and then when I inevitably die, no, that didn't work. When I inevitably die, okay, so it can't be destroyed. I go back, I spend that currency on upgrades. Yeah, see, they're really generous with the stun, which is great. And also with telling me where they're going to be like area effect attacks, things like that. It's really, important in a roguelike to make people feel like they have a lot of control. You never want to lose a game like this that has, where you lose a ton. In a game like this, you lose a ton whenever you fail. And so the last thing you want is to fail by surprise. To feel like, you couldn't have predicted, you couldn't have avoided your death. You always have to feel like you have a lot of control. So that's why they're telegraphing everything so much. Why the ground always goes red before there's an area effect attack, or a ranged attack always has like a laser sight. Why when I can basically prevent enemies from hitting me by hitting them first. I've got a lot of these sort of very forgiving kinds of powers. Now I still screw up. You see, I'm at 61 health right now. If I was any good at this game, I could have gotten through all of that, avoiding all damage. But okay, so I've just grabbed a new skull. So basically, you kind of can change your power set by swapping in different skulls. And it looks like once you get through a certain amount of the game, they give you a new skull, and it's kind of I think it's a different one every time. The last time I had a bomb skull that would let me sort of like set enemies on fire and then blow up. This one says, I'm a clown. I have knife attacks that leave marks, and then 3 marks cause an explosion. Okay, so let's pick it up. So now they always give them to you in this area where you've got like test dummies to practice with. So I pull the left trigger. You see down in the bottom left, it's telling me what I can do. So left trigger throws knives. Looks like I throw 3 at once. Oh no, here we go. So using the normal attack button, I throw knives 1 at a time. And once I get 3 knives on someone, they explode. And then if I pull the left trigger, I throw all 3 knives at once really fast at the same target, so they kind of inevitably explode. And then if I want to switch back to my previous power set, I can. I just hit LB. And then you see that little sort of clock cooldown effect on my main skull? That tells me how soon I can switch back. And every time you switch back, it's kind of like a Tekken tag team sort of moment where it's like the incoming character does some kind of move to sort of hurt enemies around you and protect you. Oh, hey there, Tony Duffy. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so this, because I'm a ranged guy, I'm not sure I'm actually doing... Yeah, I'm not really hindering these enemies as much as I normally would with my ranged attacks. Whoops, forgot how to... Dodge! This is how you dodge. It's with the B button. I don't know what that is. That's the second... It looks like an altar. That's the second one that I've encountered, only this is the first one I've destroyed. I'm not sure if destroying is what I actually need to do. Ow. Okay. Get out of that cloud. I probably didn't need to jump here. I probably could have switched to the other skull and just hit them from afar. So I'm at 27 health now, so not looking that great. Oh, interesting. It looks like am I throwing more knives when I am in the sky? I think I am. It's kind of like a scatter shot, like a shotgun of knives. Ah! Okay, those guys look like they're gonna want me to do this. Yeah, and stun lock them when I'm a melee guy. Oh! Sometimes a distant guy that you're not really thinking of and taking seriously can do one of those area effect attacks on you, and so you have to really be watching yourself. Oh, what's this? This is further than I've ever gotten, actually. Oh, some kind of cat. Oh, what's the cat gonna do? It's a strange cat. Whoa, a little skeleton. How did you get in? I've heard some people accidentally drift into this place, but a skeleton? Anyway, welcome. This is your first time here, right? This is a subspace in the demon world that my ancestors created a long time ago. For now, it is being used as a shelter from Carleon's invasion. You're looking for the Demon King. Perhaps you should talk to the other experts in this shelter. Good luck finding him. I'm going to go eat some fish now. Meow bye. Meow bye, of course. That's what a cat would say. Let's see here. Greetings are asked, do the enemies do they have friendly fire? It seemed like they did. You know what? I have not been paying attention to that. I'm not sure. Attack speed by 5% and movement speed by 10%. I don't know if that's worth it. HP by 30. That is worth it. It's quite affordable, isn't it? Yes, I agree. Let's get out of here. Alright. More enemies. Oh, this guy. Okay, so I should... Whoa, wait. Okay, I've already fought this guy. Ah! I fought this guy once, and I completely sucked. But now that I have this range to do, it might actually be easy. Oh wait, I need to get closer to it than that. I can use this effect. Stop healing. You are not allowed to heal. So you'll notice he is a stereotypical paladin type warrior. That's the whole conceit of this game, is that I am a skeleton from the demon world. That's sort of the most typical minion you can have in a video game. Ow, whoa, that's a new attack. I haven't seen that one. Ow! Oh, yikes. Stop healing me, jerk. You're the bad guy, you don't get to heal. Stop it. Yes! That is my first victory. It's interesting that enemies keep dropping gold and the gold disappears immediately. Like, you collect it automatically without it coming anywhere near you. I keep feeling like I should just rush over and collect the gold, but then I absolutely don't have to. Movement speed increased by 10%. Okay, I guess I'm moving 10% faster. It's hard to tell with such small numbers. Like, numbers like that usually... usually numbers like that have to start adding up before you can really feel them. Like, 10% movement, you know, can feel okay once you've got 5 of them. Alright, so the thing... Oh, I think I know why they have me fire that little shotgun blast. It's so I can't just avoid enemies and shoot them from across different platforms. Like, I have to do weird navigation stuff in order to use this effectively across gaps. Oh, Tony Duffy points out that this game kind of reminds me of Ghouls and Ghosts. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. That's the old school side-scroller where you play like the old man in a diaper. Ow. Alright. Let's just choose this guy from back here. Okay, so the door, you'll notice, is locked until I've defeated all the enemies. There we go. Kinda surprised I've lasted as long as I have. Ooh, what's this? Okay, so I got a new skull. It's a sneak. It can quickly move behind enemy and attack it upon swapping, dropping 5 gold. So I just make a bunch of extra money this way. Attack enemies while hiding in darkness. You're invincible right before attacks. Interesting. Okay, so can I decide to have just the 2 weird ones? I think I can. Okay, cool. So let's switch to this guy and practice his stuff. Okay, so he's got a melee attack that can probably replace the one that I've been using by default. And then what's this? Left trigger. Okay, so so I disappear and then do a powerful attack. That brief period of immunity seems short enough that I doubt I can really use it. Oh, but wow, it does a lot of damage. I hadn't really gotten a sense of the scale of damages. I didn't know whether 15 to 18 was actually feeling a lot, but it really does. Ouch. I think I want to be this guy. Okay, greetings cards is verified that the enemies do not have friendly fire. I should mention, by the way, that this game is in early access. So pretty much everything you're seeing here is, you know, it's still being worked on. And one fun thing about roguelikes is that, you know, you can get the first few levels done and you can generate a lot of sort of randomly generated fun while the game is still incomplete. And people can have a lot of, you know, varied and interesting experiences with just the earliest content while you're still working on the later content. I know that, you know, Dead Cells took a lot of advantage of that. You know, there's a lot of fun early on, then it just kept on getting bigger. And I believe that that's the plan with this game, is that they're just going to keep developing it and keep sort of adding probably to the high end, while new players like me can, you know, keep enjoying the sort of minimal stuff that's in initially. Okay, so they're hanging out with that, like, evil vine. Ah, more of them. Oh, man. Stop doing that. Okay, so I think that purple thing that one of them dropped was a health pickup. It's weird having my health be purple. It's because I'm a bad guy. Bad guys have purple health. Oh, so I've gotten to world 1, 2, I guess. Oh, ow. Okay, that's evil. Ow. I'm gonna... Ow, stop. I don't want to be in a gas cloud. Okay, I was kind of confused for a second because there was overlapping health bars. I think there's actually an enemy behind an enemy. Yeah, this is a lot of enemies. And who's this guy? Yeah, these bigger fights, I'm kind of expecting to get killed at some point along the line here. But not if they bunch up like this. This game is pretty satisfying as far as being able to do a lot of damage to a lot of enemies. Go ahead and do that while I'm not near you. One of the first things you do in the tutorial is fight a brute like this and learn to dodge back and forth to stay alive. My first little while with an enemy like that was... I did not do well. It took me a while to sort of figure out how to fight them. Once I did, it seemed pretty fair. Oh, crap! That was it! I think a little shot of my cause of death. That's great. So far I've had 3 deaths. That's how many runs I've done. Defeated a lot of enemies. Defeated 1 adventurer, and I earned that much dark quartz. Well, let's go spend some dark quartz. Alright, so my options here. Thick bone I can use to increase my basic attack. Fracture prevention, increasing my max HP. That seems really valuable. So let's grab some of that. And yeah, charge up my abilities faster. Alright, so that was one run of this game. I think I've pretty much demonstrated the kind of game it is, and so, if I kept going, I could basically, I'll be starting over at the beginning again, and just trying to get further each time, and eventually build up my character enough that, it'll be, the beginning gets easier and easier as I try to, reach deeper and deeper into the game. So it's definitely structured more like Rogue Legacy in that you actually are building up your character to be more and more powerful over time, as opposed to, say, Dead Cells, where your character starts at the same power level no matter what, but you're earning a greater and greater variety of power-ups you can earn during play. So this is more like the former. This is more like Rogue Legacy, but it's got sort of the development plan of a game like Dead Cells, where they're starting in early access. You can play it while it's still being developed, and they're sort of growing it over time. So, so Greetings Card points out that, the telegraphs in this game are really, he says they're really hot. The archer doesn't just show that it's about to attack, it actually shows its entire range. Yeah, they basically paint out the area you need to avoid. And so if you die in this game to a ranged attack or something like that, or even the melee attacks are real telegraph too. If you die to something, you should have been able to see it coming and do something about it. And so they work really hard to make sure that every death feels earned, because that's a really important part of the experience of a game that has either permadeath or a really expensive death, like a rogue like this sends you back to the beginning. They really never want you to feel like the death was cheap. You need to feel like it's because you made a mistake. You did something that you can correct next time. You have to feel like you can progress that way, because if it just feels like your deaths are arbitrary, then it just gets really frustrating. Like for instance, I was just playing a round of Slay the Spire where I aborted it because I misunderstood. There's a relic that I was going to pick up, and I misunderstood what the relic did. And and actually what the relic did was destroy my entire strategy. I had built up a strategy around a lot of cards that basically tons of cards that were 0 cost that I could just play and play and play and play and play, and the number of 0 cost cards would grow over time, and I would just get more and more powerful as I went. And then I grabbed a relic that said that I would start every battle confused. So what I thought that meant was I would have 1 round of confusion, and confusion means the costs of your cards are randomized. But what that actually meant was I'm always randomized. And so all of my entire strategy that was built up around these 0 cost cards went away because half the time they cost, 3 energy, and I just couldn't even use them the same way. And it was really frustrating because I felt like I had interpreted the relic, its description, in a reasonable way, and it ended up wiping out my strategy. And so when you're making a roguelike style game, you definitely want to avoid those kinds of moments where the player is doing badly and they feel like it's not their fault. So really, a lot of props to the developers of Skul, that they're working so hard to make sure your deaths always feel earned. Anyway, so let's get out of here and move on to something else.